Okay, with another configuration about the VLAN, you can see that this sketch is different from yesterday. So we are progressing from one model to another model. And we have VLAN 10, which is sales, VLAN 20, which is QC. And we have two routers. Yesterday, there was no router attached to it. Okay. So we are going to configure these two VLANs, and you can see that though they are two VLANs but different IP address. Yesterday we used only one word IP address. So on the yellow side we have VLAN 20, which is QC, quality control, and they are using 172.16.0.0/16. Then the blue side also we have 192.168.10.0/24. We are going to make sure that these two VLANs have to pass through this switch. At the end, we will trunk our fast Ethernet 0/24. But on the router, which is FA 0/0, router, we don't create VLAN, but rather we will do what we call sub interface. Okay, that is what we will do on the router. So now let's start by giving the IP address to the client machine. We are going to start from our immediate left. So let me just, now you have PC1. So let's enter inside PC1 step by step. Let's go and give 192.168.10.100. We will give the default gateway later on. Okay. Let's go to the next PC. 192.168.10.120. Okay, so let's configure the yellow side IP address as well. We are dealing with our left side. 172.16.0.10. One 172.16.0.20. Now we have given the various VLAN IP address. Let's try something, okay? Be on the first PC and ping this one, PC4, and see whether it can ping. It says what? Request timeout. What different network altogether? Let's close it. Now we have separate what network? Because it's request timeout, we need a router to route the two IP addresses. Okay, so we are going to create VLAN on the switch. So let's go to the switch. Let's put our laptop here and connect our console to it. Now let's enter inside the switch by double clicking on the laptop, go to desktop, then terminal, then you click OK. You know this one already, student. Let's go to config T, then the host name is SW1. We are giving the switch name SW1. Let's create a VLAN, and the VLAN we are going to create, the VLAN is called sales VLAN 10. So type VLAN, then you put 10 there, then enter. Then you type name. The name is what? Sales. Now exit. Then create another VLAN called, you are going to create, I should slow down. I should slow down since I taught you yesterday. I should slow down also. Is it not the same thing we did yesterday? Or student, is it not the same thing we did yesterday? Yes. I was thinking that when I was sketching it, quick, you have to what? Finish it. Okay, so VLAN, we have 20. And the name, we have QC. You type exit. Don't forget about line what? Console, okay? I don't want my switch to log out. That is why I have to put. Are you done? Okay, so now since we have finished creating our VLANs, VLAN 10, which is sales, and VLAN 20, which is QC. Now let's join the interface. So look for this one. Mine is 1, and this one is 2. So I'm going to join the interface into the VLAN. So let me enter. For you to do that, type int range, then FA 0/1 hyphen 2. Then you type switch mode access. Switch mode access. Then you type switch access VLAN 10. Type VLAN 10, which means that a combined fast Ethernet 0/1 and 0/2 on a VLAN called 10 with the name sales. Are you okay? Kelly, you are not okay. Okay, so let's continue with the rest. Type exit, then let's enter inside the interface that links the yellow side, this side. Okay, mine, if I check, you can see that is 5 and 6. Mine is 5 and 6. I don't know how you did yours. So INTFA, sorry, INT range FA 0/5 hyphen 6. Then switch mode access first before switch access VLAN 20. VLAN 20. So when you finish, just come out from it, then type show VLAN. You see that we have the interface allocated to our VLAN cells and our VLAN QC. And you can see 1 and 2 and 5 and 6. How many of you have yours like this? That's shown on my screen. Now press the space bar, then we continue, because you can see that we have the 10 for sales, 20 for QC, and the associate interface has been allocated to various VLANs. Okay, so let's go on. What is up for us to do? We have to now make sure that this one, the VLAN, that is the FA 0/24, have to accept what? VLAN 10 and 20. So we are going to do this place trunking. So you can put trunk here. You put trunking here. So we are going to trunk this place. Okay. So let's go straight to the config T. Then INTFA 0/24. I'm entering inside this one. It's 24. So for the VLAN 10 and the VLAN 20 to pass through to the router, we need the interface over here. We have to create trunking on it, like what we did yesterday. So let's enter. We are already about to enter into what? Fast Ethernet 0/20. So enter. Then you type the switch mode trunk, because we are going to use that one as a trunking. You have to type what? Switch mode, switch port mode trunk. Then you type switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10 20, which means this particular port should allow VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 should go. I hope it's clear. Perfect. So enter and let's go. We finished with the justice of what we are doing. Now it's time for us to configure the route. It's time for us to configure. So let's type end, then WR. Let's save our work. Config running, then startup running. Save your work so that when the system so that when the system restart, at least you will not lose your configuration by the start of it. So WR for write, copy the running configuration and the startup configuration. Then let's go straight to our router. You are not supposed to create VLAN on the router. So we are going to create sub interface. So you see this particular interface is FA0/0. Look at what I'm going to do. FA0/what? 0. Look at something. I'm going to create a sub interface for this one. So look, I will type sub, then int, then FA0/0. I'll put .10. I'm using .10 because of the VLAN. Then I will do another sub interface FA0/0 .20. When you check this one, these are the only thing that you will do on the router. We are going to create these two sub interface. And if they said sub interface, it means taking another interface from the original. So I'm going to say the first one, which is FA0/0. We will not put IP address for it. The only thing we will do is to enable this. But the rest, we will create this one, FA0/0.10. So it's a sub for what? This. So the sub one are those one we are going to do the IP address. So let me just give an example of that. The first one, we will give an IP address of the 10 side is 192.168.10. Let me put it this way, 1. Okay, so that will be the gateway for the client servicing. Then the next one is going to be 172.16.0.1. So you just check it well. We are going to give these IP addresses to the sub interface, but we are not supposed to give IP address to this one. Keep it in mind. We are going to enter inside this one, then we will type no shutdown. That's all. Then after that, we will create a sub interface. The sub interface is the one we are going to assign an IP address. So let's do it right now. Virtual, thank you. It means it's virtual. So let's enter inside the router. By clicking on the laptop, go to the terminal, and straight away choose node. Ian, our normal configuration host, then the R1, you've given R1 as a host name. After configuring this, you will do the rest later on. Okay, now enter inside this interface, INTFA0/0. Enter. Are you in? You are not supposed to assign an IP address. You see how funny the thing is going to be. You are not supposed to assign an IP address, but what you're supposed to do is to type no shutdown. So after typing no shutdown, then you type exit. Now the port has been opened. You've opened the port. Now it's time for us to create a sub interface from the port you've opened. Then that sub interface, we will assign an IP address to it. So type INT space FA 0/0.10. Enter. Have you seen it has turned SAP if? It has turned SAP if, which means we have taken an interface, but it's not physical, it's virtual. We have taken it from the physical one. So you taking it from the physical one, you have to first what? Enable what? The physical one. Aziz, can I put the echo on small? I'm sweating at the corner. You are wearing. Do you understand? Do you understand? Now, we are going to assign an IP address to the interface. You see how the thing is? It's something else. No.
When we enter to the SAP,
an IP address. So you can see that the router will be having two interfaces, but it's not real. It's not physical. It's virtual. So that virtual is going to start looking for the VLAN. So the machines that you have in VLAN, they are going to use this one at the other side, which is 192.168.10.1 on their gateway. Then this one, 172.16.0.1 at the other side as their gateway. So when they are coming, the router is the one that will interpret them.
So now, what is the difference between SAP and then this one, IP address?
The IP address, this IP address is from where? These two IP addresses. The 192 and the 172. They are from various different IP addresses. They are here.
But what is the meaning of the SAP?
The SAP means what? The SAP. The SAP means a copy of. We have sub-inheritance or subnet maps. So if I take 192.168.0.0, I'll tell you that the subnet mask is what? 255.255. That means a sub of 8. So the interface is there. And your normal one that you do, you will just enter inside the FA0/0, then you assign an IP address. But now, because you can create more VLAN inside router, we are using the port. So we create, if the VLAN over here is only one, you create only one sub-interface. But the VLAN is what? It's two. So we have to create two sub-interfaces. Now the middle one is not part. I'll give you the middle one, which is going to be VLAN 30. So if the middle one is VLAN 30, then you will come here again because I haven't given you this one, the VLAN yet, the name yet, the department yet. So if the department over here is marketing and it's VLAN 30, then I'll come here and come and type sub-interface.30. Then I will assign an IP address that I will put here. So the router will be having how many sub-interfaces? Thank you. Should we proceed? Okay, let's go. So now we are going to assign an IP address. So IP address, then you type 192.168.10.1, then 255.255.255.0. You enter. It said configuration IP routing on the LAN sub-interface is only allowed if that sub-interface is already configured as part of the IEEE. Now, what we're supposed to do is, look, type encapsulation On that particular interface, type encapsulation, then bring the question tag. Can you see dot 1Q? So you type dot 1Q, then the question tag again. He said VLAN ID. And what is the VLAN ID? We're supposed to do this one before the IP address. Sorry. Now, what is the VLAN ID? The VLAN ID is 10. So you put 10 there before the IP address will come, like this. Before the IP address will come. Okay? Before the IP address will come. Before the IP address. So I've made it big. Before the IP address will come. So the first one is that after you entering inside the sub interface, which is FA0/0.10, then I just use the 10 over here because of the VLAN 10. Okay, and you can use dot 100, you can use dot any. Are you following it? Yes, because I want differentiating. I want to differentiate between the two. So after finish configuring the encapsulation dot 1Q, which is 10. This 10 you are seeing over here is what VLAN. It is what department it says. So this IP address has been assigned. That is why when I supposed to do this one first, I went ahead and I want to give an IP address, and it gave me an information here that this one rather supposed to what? This one supposed to be configured first before. That is why I configured it here. Okay. Then after that, you put the IP address. So just type exit. Type exit. Why? Encapsulation space dot 1Q space 10. That is for the VLAN 10. That is for the VLAN 10. Are you there? Kelly, are you okay? I can see that you are worrying Kevin there. You say you are not getting it. So should I explain? Should I? Okay. Then okay. So what is up for us to do? We have to now. I'm now going to enter inside this. I'm now going to enter inside this one. Okay. Then assign an IP address like this also to it. So let's go. INTFA 0/0.20. You see, so it becomes sub if, which means sub interface. And you can see it here. It's very clear. Look at it. You can see it here. It's very clear. You've seen it. So I'm going to give an IP address. IP address 172.16.0.1, 255.255.0.0. Enter. Obviously, it gives me what? Error. Do you know the reason why? Do you know the reason why? Who can tell me the reason? Thank you, thank you, thank you, Kevin. I supposed to configure what? Encapsulation what? VLAN. So encapsulation dot what? Dot 20. Thank you. Before I will come and enter the IP address, then it will go through. Now, please don't type shutdown here because remember, the portal already has been what? Opened. Okay. So don't type shutdown. The port already has been opened. Yeah. Now, I want you to type exit. Type exit again. Then type show IP interface brief. You can shorten it. I'm supposed to type IP interface, that is show IP interface brief, but because of the interface. Now, when you enter, you can see the SAP interface there. You seen it? That SAP interface, we got the SAP interface from the original one that tells you that unassigned, but yet still is up. I'm not forgetting. So don't forget him too. Malik. When you read that, then send it to her. Malik. Okay, tomorrow. Of it. Okay, so now, since I should wait. Okay, so now, still on the router. Still on the router. Let's go on the router. Config T. Then the serial. Enter inside the serial. The serial is not part of the network, the VLAN side. Okay. So INTS is the serial. You know how to go about it. So IP address is 20.20.20.1 255.0.0.0. Enter. Then no shut down. It will not take effect because you're supposed to do the other side of it also, which is the servicing. The state is down, but it will come back when the opponent interface also, you enable it without an IP address. So this side, I'm just giving the IP address to this side, the serial over here. Okay, so let's enter inside router 2. En config T, the host router 2, line console 0, exec, then int sa 0/1/0. Twenty 22 255.2.0.0.0. No shutdown. Okay, so you can see that the state changed up and it's changed now. Serial configuration, you know how to go about it already. It's just so now on router 2, uh, let's go back to router 1 and create our OSPF. Okay, let's create our OSPF on it. So now Look at the OSPF that we are going to do. We are going to do the OSPF on the router 1, 2, 3. So we have to create 3 networks. Yes, let's make it one area. Okay. So okay, let's go to the router. Now we are going to configure the OSPF. So router OSPF, I'll choose 100 and the router ID 1.1.1.1, and I will enter network. First, I will start with 20.20.20.0, then 255.0.0.0. Then the area, I'm going to use, let's use area 50. Okay? Yes, area 50. Let's use area 50. That is it. Area 50. We are using area 50. So now, the next one is going to be network, which is 192.168.10.0, 255.255.255.0. Then that one too, you make it area what? 50. You can do the same thing too. You can do the same thing to network 127 and 172. 172.16.0.0, 255.255.0.0, area 50. So copy, run startup and RW. So show IP OS interface. OS interface. We haven't configured the other side of it yet. Like we will show neighbor if they can see themselves. Okay. So we have the designated router ID, which is this. Interface address also is this. Then we have interface address of fast Ethernet 20. IP address also follows. The same thing as the one at the top. You said I use area 100, area 50. That is it, area 50. Now is let's go to the client machines. Okay. Remember, the client machine is supposed to assign a gateway IP address. So we are going to assign a gateway IP address that we give it to the interface 192.168.10.1. But remember, there's no server that we can assign the DNS IP address. Dot one. The default gateway I gave it 192.168.10.1. So let's try it and see whether ping 192.168.10.100. I'm pinging this one on the same way. So now let's go to the yellow side and configure 172 also. That is a VLAN 20. Provide a gateway, okay? 172.16.0.1. Double click on the next PC also. Provide 172.16.0.1. I'm providing this gateway because of the SAP interface we did. And you have to give a gateway to it, other than that it will not ping. The number of VLANs you have is the number of SAP interface you must provide. Which one? Have you seen it's pinging now? Is it pinging? Is the yellow pinging? It's pinging. Hmm? Yeah, because router has come, so router is routing the work of the router. It routes the IP address, different IP address. Okay. No. Yes. I'm on this one. I'm on this one, pinging this one. The router is routing the IP addresses. You want yellow to ping yellow, like what we did yesterday. That one's supposed to be on the switch. They can ping. You understand? They can ping. But in a security, I will show you another security side, which we call ACL, Access Control List. That one you also configure it, then you will not allow these people to ping this. I stood on this one, then I ping 192.168. Remember that I'm on the 172.16.20. So I'm pinging this one. And look, the router is the one that is routing the IP. So apart from this one, when you finish, listen, when you finish, we have to configure another thing, that is access and deny. So ACL will come. The router will route it and send. Do you understand? Kevin, listen. Now, I'm here, but I can ping this. The reason is that the router is routing the two IPs addresses. So if you don't want these people to ping this one, then you have to configure ACL on the router. And we haven't reached this pinging. It's not pinging. Check it. Check the IP address. Check the this.
Let me see. This one, no, this one. The subnet is 255.
Teresa, is yours pinging? It's pinging from one side to another. Okay. So
My own is also.
now I want you guys to go and configure this side. Configure this side. This side. Configure this side. Tomorrow I'll check. So when you configure this side, make sure that the router 2, you have to assign OSPF on it. Remember, my OSPF is what? The anonymous number is 100. So when you finish, stand on the yellow to pink yellow here, and stand on the yellow to pink. So these people must cross from here to this side. Okay. Thank you very much for another episode. I will meet you guys once again. Successful class. Thank you.